This is the book of Revelation, chapter 11, 14. It reads, "The second woe is past, and behold, the third woe cometh quickly." Verse 15, "And the seventh angel sounded, and there were great voices in heaven saying, The kingdoms of this world are become the kingdoms of our Lord and of his Mashiach, and he shall reign forever and ever." Verse 15, "And the 24 elders which sat before Yahweh on their seats fell upon their faces and worshiped Yahweh." Verse 17, saying, "We give thee thanks, O Lord, Yahweh Almighty, which art and was and art to come, because thou hast taken to thee thy great power and hast reigned." In verse 18, "And the nations were angry, and thy wrath is come, and the time of the dead, that they should be judged, and that thou shouldest give reward unto thy servants, the prophets, and the saints, and them that fear thy name, small and great, and shouldest destroy them which destroy the earth." Shalom, shalom. First and foremost, our praises, honor, and the glory shall go to Yahweh, Ba'asham, Yahushai, Ba'asham, Akakodash, Bakatab. Double honor shall go to apostles, elders, and bishops, a great millstone, to continue to teach and to rule well. Shalom to the Akims, a great millstone of like-minded camps and individuals who continue to teach as one body, who continue to be out on the highways and byways, risking their lives for the greater good. And also shalom to the sincere Aquads, who are continuously learning in silence, as the Holy Scriptures have commanded for you to do so. This is Azariah Gabar, representing the King is Coming channel, back at it with another lesson for edification purposes. All right, so this beautiful lesson for today is going to be entitled, "Them which destroy the earth," or AKA destroyers of the earth. So who would this reply to or associate with? Ding, ding, ding. As always, Esau, Edom. Okay? Because nature is on a major, major decline in these last days. It's dying. Okay? Air's polluted, water's polluted, the Franken foods that we're eating, they're polluted as well. Okay? So, because of Esau, Edom's destruction of this earth, because remember, Job 9 and 24 says, "The earth shall be given to the hands of the wicked." What is he trying to do? Well, now he's trying to take his talents to other planets. All right? And the book of Obadiah supports this. All right? Obadiah 1 and 1, and it reads, "The vision of Obadiah, thus saith the Lord Yahweh concerning Edom. We have heard a rumor from the Lord, and an ambassador is sent among the heathen. Arise ye, and let us rise up against her in battle." Verse 2, "Behold, I have made thee small among the heathen, but are greatly despised." Woo! That's powerful. Esau is the smallest population out of all the heathens, but they're the most and greatly despised. Yes. Verse 3, "The pride of thine heart had deceived thee, thou that dwellest in the clefts of the rock," Mount Seir, by the way, "whose habitation is high, that said in his heart, Who shall bring me down to the ground?" And verse 4, here's a point. "Though thou exalt thyself as the eagle, and though that thou set thy nest among the stars, woo, thence will I bring thee down, saith the Lord." All right. So, like I just mentioned, he wants to set his sights amongst the other planets to populate and colonize them, because he know he effed up here. The planet Earth is becoming uninhabitable. It really is. And Hosea 4 and 1 says something similar. And it reads, "Hear the word of the Lord, ye children of Yasharallah, for the Lord had a controversy with the inhabitants of the land, because there is no truth no mercy, no knowledge of Yahweh in the land. Verse 2. By swearing and lying and killing and stealing and committing adultery, they break out and blood toucheth blood. In verse 3, here's a point. Therefore shall the land mourn, and every one that dwelleth therein shall languish with the beasts of the field and with the fowls of heaven. Yea, the fishes of the sea also shall be taken away. Woo! So I just said in the beginning that nature is on a steep, steep decline. And even the trees are starting to become non-existent because of Esau Edom. Because if you remember your biology lessons back in school, the trees, they provide what's called photosynthesis. And that's a process where the trees would take in the pollution and put out clean air, all right, the CO2, the carbon dioxide, all right, to provide clean air, to cleanse the air. But Esau, with his deforestation tactics, is destroying the trees as well, okay? And so Proverbs 29 and 1, Salakia reads, He that being often reproved harden his neck shall suddenly be destroyed, and that without remedy. In verse 2, and here's a point. When the righteous are in authority, the people rejoice. But when the wicked beareth rule, the people mourn. Woo! So again, not only the people are mourning, but nature is mourning as well. All right? And according to the book of John 8 and 44, he really lays it down. And it reads, Ye are of your father the devil, aka Esau Edom, and the lust of your father ye will do. He was a murderer from the beginning, aka Cain, all right? And abode not in the truth, because there is no truth in him. When he speaketh a lie, he speaketh of his own, for he is a liar and the father of it. Father of lies. Point blank. Father of lies. And speaking of lies, like I mentioned earlier, he's trying to set his nest among the stars. But guess what? Esau claimed to have gone to the moon, but he didn't do so. Nope. Because there's a book that was published. We never went to the moon. America's $30 billion swindle by Bill Kaysing. Okay? So Esau never went to the damn moon. Because back then, he did not possess the technology to do so. All right? And on top of that, you got the outer layers of the solar system with those asteroid belts, amongst other things, that he would have been fried to a crisp like Popeye's chicken. Let's put it that way. So he never made it to the moon. That's a lie. All right? So I want to try and queue up a couple of quick videos, but before I do so, fair use of the 1976 Copyright Act. These videos are for education and edification purposes only. I'm not making a dime off of these videos, you heard? So here's one about air, water, and land pollution. Let's go to it.
Did you know pollution happens when harmful things are added to our environment? There are different types of pollution, like water, land, and air pollution. Water pollution happens when harmful things like trash, sewage, or chemicals are added to our rivers, lakes, and oceans. This can hurt the fish, frogs, and other living things that live in the water.
Look at that.
Some of them might not be able to survive if the water is too polluted. Can you think of some ways people can cause water pollution?
Esau. Period.
Land pollution happens when harmful things are added to the land. When people litter or dump waste, it can hurt the soil and the animals that live there.
All right, so for time constraint purposes, I had to cut that video short. So that narrator answered his own damn question. All right? Esau Edom is a cause of pollution mainly, okay? So that's video number 1. So again, he wants to take his talents to the other planets to escape what he's done. Okay? So I want to get this other video real quick. And it says, proof we never landed on the moon, like I mentioned. And I showed you that book cover. All right. Let me try to cue this up real quick.
Is this proof that we never actually landed on the moon? Many point to the fact that there was no blast crater seen under the legs of the lunar module. In the footage available, you can clearly see that there is no landing crater or dust kickup. Even with the lack of gravity, you would think that the weight of the lunar module would still leave some kickup or even an impact crater of some kind. NASA explained that this is because of the obvious lack of gravity, but also that the moon is a solid rock surface. More evidence to the contrary is this reflection seen in the visor of one of the astronauts. An unexplained object can clearly be seen in the upper portion of the astronaut's helmet. Whatever this is, it looks to be hanging from something above. And if you look at photos of the lunar module, it doesn't appear to be anything hanging off of that. Many people believe that it looks very similar to one of these lights you would see on a movie set. As of now, as far as I know, there's been no explanation given. And then there's the obvious lack of stars in any of the photos taken on the moon's surface. You would think without the light pollution that we have here on Earth that you'd be seeing billions of stars. You can see Earth, but not one star is visible. There's been many explanations about this, but let me know what you think. And then there's the C route. This photo was taken on the surface of the moon when you can obviously see the letter C on one of the moon rocks. Movie studios often use labels like this on their props. NASA's explanation of this is that this was most likely added afterwards or even as a prank by one of their own.
Yeah, right.
All this evidence, one of the most compelling are these photos showcasing the use of similar backgrounds. In these 2 photos taken on Apollo 15, 2 very similar backgrounds appear to be used. NASA claims that these 2 photos were taken many miles apart, but when you line up these images, the background hills line up perfectly. In one image, you can see the lunar module, and in another image, it's in a completely different spot. NASA's explanation of this is that because...
So there you go. Further proof that this man is the father of lies. Because what happened was they took that video somewhere in the desert in Nevada, okay? That's how they were able to pull the okie doke and had NASA obtain billions and billions of dollars to its program by committing lies and fooling the whole world that man went to the moon. And so why hasn't man gone back since? Where was that? All right, you heard? So this is going to conclude this beautiful lesson today. Hopefully, as always, someone gets edified by it. All praises, honor, and the glory shall go to Yahweh, Ba'asham, Yahushai, Ba'asham, Makah, Kodash, Barakatam, Kwam, Yasharala, Rise Israel. And as always, Lord willing, on to the next video. Shalom.